everyone. Welcome back to Tube Talk. I'm Travis here with Jen.
Here we are.
We are back. What an exciting time. Love the podcast.
Love the
We're having
podcast.
It's
my
the best
favorite
thing
part
of
of
the
the
week.
week. Twinsies.
Twinsies. Look at that. We think
Oh
we
my
have one
gosh.
brain. Two people, one brain. I wanted to listen. Y'all have showed us a lot of
Gonna
love
make
this
a
week.
brain joke.
Please do it. You gonna say about brain
it's
fart?
It's too late now.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I hope we don't share your brain.
No, we don't need that. Listen, you don't want this thing. You don't want this. There's a lot of areas that you don't want to go into. Anyway, lots of fun this past week. We had Rob Wilson on. If you missed that episode, make sure you check it out. What an amazing episode that was. We went longer than we normally went. We answered a ton of questions from you guys and gals. And y'all showed out again this week, as we now have more questions this week than we had last week. And we thought we had a lot last week. We got time.
Gosh, doesn't stop.
It doesn't. And for people who don't know, because sometimes people submit like right after we're done recording the podcast. If you don't hear your question on the podcast, it probably will be on the next episode. We get them all the way up until we record, and then obviously we get them the next time through. But I saved them, so they're not going anywhere. We're going to get to them. But before we do that, a little bit of life stuff, just real quick. We're not going to take too much of your time. Jen and I recorded a video for vidIQ yesterday, and she sounded like death. Really thought she was going to die in the middle of the video. And but now she sounds better. But let's talk about how you are living your own personal hell. Like, what's going on over there?
I literally got on yesterday and Travis was just like, "Oh, we're gonna have you talk less today."
Yeah.
I'm allergic to my house.
Bruh.
Talk about a video title.
That's an amazing video title, by the way.
I'm allergic to my house. I had to go see an allergist, specialist, because I haven't been able to breathe since I've moved to Oregon 3 months ago. And I just keep getting sinus infections. And they were just like, "Oh, well, you live now in the allergy state. We have the worst allergies in the United States." They were like, "Do you have carpeting in your house?" I was like, against my will, but yeah, actually, all of my house is carpeted. And they were like, "Oh, all of your allergies are trapped under that rug." Oh my gosh. So podcast is canceled next week because I have to rip up all my carpeting. So
Yeesh. I mean, you should have seen her. Literally, we wouldn't have been able to record this podcast yesterday. She looked like she was crying. She was snotting everywhere. It was
everywhere.
bad.
And I had to keep apologizing to my creators. And I'm like, I swear I'm okay. My body's rejecting me.
Terrible, terrible times. And the other thing we need to do right now before we get into your questions is give you an update on the strategy of the building this channel, the YouTube channel. Now, of course, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you probably know by this point, we also have a YouTube version of these podcasts, a video version on YouTube. And, we talked a couple of weeks ago about our strategy moving forward. So we'd like to give you guys an update. And this week has been amazing. So, in our trek to get to 100,000 subscribers at some point, we started really kind of in earnest, I would say 3 weeks ago. Technically, the channel's been up for a month tomorrow. I don't think you even knew that. Tomorrow.
I didn't know that.
We just threw up some videos on the 9th of July and really didn't do a lot of promotion or anything for them. We wanted the channel to kind of do its own thing. Then we really started talking about it on this podcast and really kind of doing more community-based stuff, of course, like the podcast on the actual YouTube channel. And y'all have shown out. I feel so blessed by this community. Don't you, Jen?
I know. We just talk about your comments all day. Just know that.
It's the best emails I get all day when I see, new comment came in. We're up to 3. We're going to hit 400 subscribers probably today, which is amazing. Incredible.
Gosh, can you believe that?
I'm kind of blown away, which means, if we keep up the momentum, which we fully intend to, we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. We're going to look for 1,000 subscribers by next month. If we get 1,000 subscribers in less than 2 months, I'm going to be over the moon.
Travis, does that mean we actually might maybe questionably know what we're talking about?
It's funny you say that, Jen. One of our editors was like, once they saw some of the performance, because at first I think they were really worried. They're like, "Well, you're doing a new channel, and is it really gonna is it going to grow? And then, of course, they've been editing our videos where we talk about how to grow YouTube channels the entire time. And then he saw one of the videos that got like over 1,000 views, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys know exactly what you're talking about."
He was like, it's almost like you guys know what you're talking about or something.
Like we know how to grow a YouTube channel. It's not like we've not done this many times before and every day of the week. But yeah, it's been really exciting, and we're seeing some growth. We're going to start putting some YouTube shorts on every so often. But really, what we're going to do is we're going to take these longer podcasts, and I suggest this for anyone who has long form content. I'm going to break down little segments, so you'll start to see on the channel segments of the podcast in like little 5-minute chunks about different subjects that we talk about. Because the reality is, we get it, hour-long podcast. Not everyone gets to hear the whole thing, but there might be something 30 minutes in that they're really interested in that they wouldn't otherwise even know about. So we're going to package those. You're going to see those starting to happen within the week that you see this podcast here, see and hear this podcast. You'll start to see it on the channel, and hope that those kind of help move the channel forward as well, because we're actually sharing some really cool information. And last week with Rob was amazing.
Yep. And when we think about long form content this long, that's a big ask for a new viewer to just trust that they're going to like us, don't even know us, recognize us, and to click on to something that long. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot to ask from your audience. It's new. Because again, most of the people that are coming to this channel don't really know who we are yet. Excuse me. Again, y'all came through and we love y'all. And because of that, we're kind of flourishing already. But yeah. All right. So look, we got a lot of questions to get into. So let's go ahead and start now. Of course, if you're new here and you want to submit a question, do it through either email or the voice, the text message thing. So the email is theboost@vidIQ.com. That's theboost@vidIQ.com. Or if you're listening to the audio podcast, if you look in the show notes, you'll see there's a link that says text us here, and that sends us a text message. And we got one here. This one says it's from Jersey, which is New Jersey. Hey there. I was wondering if maybe you could audit my channel. It'd be nice to see what I can improve on and what I should change and all that. A bit about my channel. I'm a gaming YouTuber who has 2,000 subs, and I got a 9,600 view on my very first short. But I've seen a bit of a drop in views and decrease in the rate of subs. If you do decide to check out my channel, here it is. All right. So a couple of things. Number one, we can't do channel audits here because it would just turn into all channel audits. We just can't do that. However,
audio for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
tricky. Yes, for people listening, be like, I don't understand what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But of course, people on YouTube would, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, the long story short, there's a couple places where you can get some help. Number one, obviously on the main YouTube channel for vidIQ, we do channel audits every Tuesday. So you should make sure you check that out. Secondarily, we have a free Discord, which, you can always go and ask help for. But really the best place is there is a Discord for Boost members and above. If you're either a one-on-one client or a member who has the Boost option, which I think is like $20 a month, really inexpensive, that gives you access to all the different features of the software plugin for vidIQ. There is a Discord that I helped set up initially years ago for what used to be our group coaching team that is full of absolute experts, like absolute experts. I left that place in a really good position of people who know what the heck they're talking about. And they absolutely audit channels every single day in depth that would be higher and more in depth than we could ever do on something like this. So I recommend that. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description on the YouTube channel and on the show notes. The one caveat is, of course, you have to either be a Boost member, which again, not that expensive, or a one-on-one member. And you have to be in certain countries. So certain countries, I think most people here live in the US, but let me tell you what the countries are, because you do have to be in one of the qualifying countries, which is US, the UK, Australia, and Canada. So if you're in any of those countries and you have, that's pretty good, right?
That's more than I thought you were going to say, to be honest.
I mean, me too, to be honest. Before I read it, I was like, I don't know. If you're in any
You
of
must
those
be in the
countries,
States.
Exactly.
The end.
Be somewhere. Yeah, you might need to be across the street from my house. Then click the link. It'll take you to a Discord. It doesn't cost you anything more, and there's a tremendous amount of people. Okay, so that's the first one down.
I like the option of showing up to Travis's house for the channel audit.
No, please do not do that. Please don't. Okay, we got Lots of emails. Here's the first one that went to the boost at vidIQ.com. This one's by Sheila. Long email. So I'm going to try to get through this in a good way. Hi, Travis and Jen. Thanks for your reply to my comment on YouTube, reminding me to push forward. YouTube is not for the faint of heart. Oh, goodness.
No.
You never said truer words in your life.
Preach, Sheila, preach.
It is definitely a lot more work than I thought it would be, especially with everything else I have on my plate. But I'm starting to get messages from people I've never met telling me that my videos have helped them, and that keeps me going. I mean, can we stop there for a second?
You've already won. You've already won.
Done. Like, when we get messages like that, it's the best thing. Literally the best thing. My channel is focused on helping people to stay organized and calm during the process of moving. This would have been great for Jen a couple of
my gosh. The one thing nobody is capable of except Sheila.
I hate moving. Whether it's across town, across the country, or across an international border. I think about all the little details so they don't have to. After moving 10 times in 10 years, holy monkey, I've noticed that every time I've moved, people would tell me they've never seen such an organized move, and I would consider my teaching system. By the way, this is one of the most underrated niches I've ever heard of in my entire life. Literally. Like, when you move, it's the worst part. It's so bad.
Why would I never think to go to YouTube and be like, Sheila,
come help
me.
I love this. You go, so I started my channel for a few reasons. Number one, saw a huge hole in the existing content on YouTube when it comes to practical advice on moving. Yeah, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
A few creators made one video about moving, but to my knowledge, no one has devoted an entire channel to the topic. I noticed that the videos out there were huge and view to subscriber ratio, which tells me there is a need for that type of content because people are probably searching for it. That's usually what happens on that. Yeah. I am in what Omar from Think Media, we've had Omar on vidIQ many times, as my 2.0 era of my life. I'm turning 50 next year. Well, girl, you ain't the only one. There doesn't seem to be much representation on YouTube from women in my age group, so I saw an opportunity to use my life experience to help people. Love this so far. This is still one of the better emails I've ever read.
Wow.
I needed something that I could do from home that would allow me to work around the demands of caring for multiple high needs children with unpredictable schedules and medical emergencies. Wow, that's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is why she's so organized and on top of everything. It just is playing into her whole life.
Amazing. My goal is to develop a business that will allow me to care for my kids while continuing to create content. Amazing. Okay, so here we go.
Sheila, how can we help? Just tell us. How can we help?
For the last 5 years, I've worked for a home sales job with the flexibility to work around the needs of my kids. Job ended abruptly when the company shut down with no notice in April this year. Oof. In May, I started my YouTube journey. While I'm not making money at it yet, I know that I will eventually. I believe I put value into the world. It comes back to us. Taking longer. Okay, if I could ask you one question, it would be this. My channel is currently my name, Sheila Gibbons. Should I change the channel to something more about moving or just leave it as my name? I seriously love listening to your podcast and my many drives to medical appointments for my kids. You're doing so much good in the world. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, Sheila. That's amazing. Now, this is a great question, by the way. One that I wish that I had thought. I thought really deeply about this when I made my original channel, and now I kind of wish that I did it differently now. So,
interesting.
See, and I'm going to be interested to see what you say. So for me, I started with my name, and it's great because I wanted the brand recognition of my name and to do all the things. However, unfortunately, that channel, I didn't understand. Well, the one thing I didn't understand about YouTube at the time is that niching down was really important, and you end up in a niche that maybe isn't a full representation of your name. I would have rather called it like Travis Tech or something like that, and then left Travis MCP, which is what I go by everywhere else, as a more like lifestyle or life of person thing, because right now my name is attached to tech, which isn't necessarily why I want it to be attached to. So this is interesting. What did you do, and what would you do, Jen, knowing what you know now?
I think that names can work well in, like what you said, the lifestyle space, where you do represent your lifestyle. I think when you niche down to a more specific side of YouTube like that, it does make sense to have a little bit more of a relevant name. I don't think it makes or breaks the channel or anything, but I would probably in that situation do something a little bit more towards moving or organizing. I would go for broad though. Like if you think one day maybe you're going to teach people how to declutter their pantries in addition to moving advice, think about it on the large scale of things. What can cover everything you want to cover on this channel?
Yeah. Almost something like organizing with Sheila or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Sheila Moves or Sheila,
I would
whatever
leave
it is.
Sheila in it. I would leave
Yeah.
first name in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe even take the last name on the last whatever second part of the name on as like a last name, like a pseudonym. You see that happen all over the place. I love. You said you're really organized. People say you're really organized. So something about like decluttering with Sheila or something that also talks about moving, or moving with Sheila, whatever. Something that's like that.
Pack it
That
up
implies
with Sheila.
exactly, because the other thing is maybe at some point, Sheila, you do something where you have multiple channels across multiple niches, and you want an overall brand, which would be like Sheila Gibbons, and then the smaller things, Sheila Moves, Sheila Organizes, Sheila Cleans, whatever they are, underneath that. So I think that would be a good way to, as she says in her email, pushing forward. I think push forward is great with a little hug emoji. Love it.
Oh,
Love it, love it, love it. I've been watching a lot of the circle, so I see a lot of people talking about emojis.
oh my gosh, Travis, you're still on the circle?
I'm on the last
Are you on
season
the new
now.
season yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, with the AI, yes. Yes. Okay. This is listen, I'm hooked. I'm a little bit hooked. I need to get on that show. If there's anyone listening that has a connection with the people who make the circle, tell them I would like to be on the next season.
I'm way too unhinged for that. I'd give myself away. I'd try to be a catfish, and
I'm 100%
fail
a catfish.
miserably.
100%. I already
would
know.
Be a good catfish, though.
I already know
you
my
should be
catfish.
Me. Can you be me? And I'll coach you on how to be me.
That would be funny.
You'll be set.
I want to be such a crap stirrer in that show. I legitimately want to stir the crap. I want to be a catfish. I want to be. Listen. I have a whole backstory and everything. Okay,
such a good catfish.
I have the backstory for my character and everything. I'm ready to go. All right.
So, it's not me.
It's not. It could be, but no. I have a good one. I'll tell you off air. All right. Derek Ward says, "I." By the way, before we get into this question, one of the things Jen and I kicked around earlier this week, I think we're going to do it as part of the strategy for this channel, this YouTube channel. We have decided we're going to at least test this once. Maybe we'll do it more than once. When Jen and I record the videos that we do for like the vidIQ channel and the Boost that are edited, we just sit here and laugh the entire time. It's ridiculous. We can't get through any of the stuff in one take.
It's incredibly unproductive.
It's so unproductive. We will shoot for 30 minutes and get 10 minutes of footage. Like, it's terrible, right? I said, wouldn't it be fun if we just uploaded the unedited thing to the Boost? You just see everything. It's completely unedited. All the outtakes, everything. You wouldn't get any like B-roll over top of it. It would not be the finished produced piece. It would literally be Jen and I trying to figure out what we're supposed to say. I don't know if y'all would like that.
Video.
If y'all would like that, please send us a message and let us know in the YouTube comments or something that you would love to see that. It's not going to be a video you're going to sit here and just look at us just trying to say the same words 16 times. It's usually me, by the way.
I love it. It's like it's the opening hook. Usually like 4 times.
Yeah. I nailed the first one this past week, but
you did though. That's what was really crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't always happen.
And it's the call to anytime Travis tells me to say a specific line.
Yeah.
Like written out specific line, I can't do it. I can't do it. I start to talk and then I ask him 3 more times, what did you tell me to say?
It's so
good. What did you want me to say?
And then we just laugh for like 10 minutes straight. It's ridiculous. And to be clear, we don't script our videos. We probably should.
Wait, that's the moral of this. We should be scripting our videos.
I refuse to be a scripted person, but we probably should, because sometimes we sit there for 10 minutes trying to say a sentence. If y'all are interested in that, let me know. All right. This is from Derek. I've been following y'all's show and actually prefer it on YouTube because I have premium, so I avoid all ads. All right, cool. Nice. I'm definitely focused on learning everything so I can grow my channel, and I might be a little obsessed with it. Well, welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family. Exactly.
My question is, will y'all please do ways that non-educational channels can make extra money besides AdSense? I've done affiliate links before, but I stopped unless I use a specific video in a specific product in a video. My channel is Derek's Lawns Rescue. All right, so you need to get Boost. I'll tell you why. When I was running the Max Group coaching program here at vidIQ, I had a couple people come through, and literally do hour-long sessions on how to make money from YouTube without using AdSense, without AdSense. And they're some of the most amazing pieces of content. They're available to people who have Boost. And I'm not trying to not answer your question. We will answer your question, but the more in-depth answer is in those videos. So what I would recommend, if you are not a Boost member, click the link in the description in the show notes to download the plugin and stuff. And when you log in, try Boost for like again, it's like, I think it's like $20 for a month, which basically means just don't go to Starbucks for a week and you'll be fine. Like, or 2 days even nowadays.
That's tough. Travis, what are you asking us to do?
Okay, well then don't go out for dinner one day of the week. Can I tell you something? I went and got a burger and a hot dog. It was $27 the other day. I don't know what's going on out there.
Wait, why are you not going to Costco for hot dogs?
Well,
what
this
are you
was after
doing?
I went to the movies, and everyone wants to charge you everything once you go to the movies. They don't want to give you nothing for cheap. So it was ridiculous. So don't go out and eat for one day, and you will pay for Boost. You will get hours and hours and hours of content that can help you answer this question. But let's just give you a really quick kind of 30,000-foot view answer. Like, how do you normally tell people who want to make money other than AdSense? And of course, affiliate links are a thing, but like, what are some other ideas? Mostly sponsorships are what's left there, mainly.
Sponsorships, crowdfunding. People underestimate crowdfunding like crazy. Crazy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What else we got?
I think just between those, because you know the cool thing about crowdfunding is that's something you can do now on YouTube directly. Like, you don't even have to do Patreon specifically. There's like memberships and stuff like that. Pretty easy to do. You just set it up, and then you can do things like behind the scenes content, or pictures and stuff that only go to members. And I just briefly pulled up his channel. I'm not going to do a channel review or anything, but my gosh, his view to subscriber ratio is insane. Like,
really?
He's got 2,000 subscribers with multiple videos with 20,000 and 200,000 and like lots of views. Of course, right now we're in
lawn
summer.
Care?
His lawn care. So this is the perfect time of year. My guess is come December, maybe not as much. We'll see. But he's got some great lawn care tips and some videos with tremendous views, which is great. Congrats on that. But yeah, if you're trying to monetize, some people will do, if you have any kind of way of so our last person, Sheila was talking about, she wants to eventually have a program that she can sell or whatever to have people learn how to organize better. Because there's what's that one really famous lady who has the video about uncluttering? Everyone seems to know.
Marie Kondo?
Yeah. Marie Kondo.
Yeah, she's a phenomenon.
So, and that's just from like a book and stuff, and everyone seems to know who she is. So, I mean, she could do that. So what could you do? Something like, can you do a digital product? Could you even create a product? Here's the real moneymaker. Once you figure out like how to do something for lawn care, and if you can figure out even like a 3D printed thing, because you can actually outsource 3D printing nowadays. If there's like a little thing you can make that makes lawn care easier, that's just a little plastic thing, you can make dumb money. Let me tell you an example of this. I know that you don't eat meat, but I do. And I love bacon. I do. It's just, I know that like pigs are intelligent and they're beautiful, wonderful. I know this. They're also delicious. I'm sorry. There is this little thing that I bought. It's one of the greatest things I've ever bought. And I got it from Amazon. I forget I think it's called like the Makin' Bacon or something like that. All it is, it's a way that you can microwave your bacon in a way that keeps it from cooking in the grease. So it's not greasy. It comes out crisp and nice and everything.
Okay.
And it's basically a little plastic clothesline. I'm not even kidding. It's like this plastic bowl. I'm going to show Jen. It's this plastic bowl thing with these little things that are, and you drape them across like clothes. I'm not even kidding. And you put it in the microwave, and it makes amazing bacon, like stupid good bacon.
I love that everyone's imagining you hanging your bacon on a clothesline right now.
I'm going to show you a picture. This is ridiculous. If you're on the video podcast, I think I might actually share this screen so y'all can see this. But it is a phenomenal thing. Now, here's the thing. It's just basically plastic. This thing probably costs 45 cents to make when you're doing it in bulk, right? It's not an expensive product. However, on Amazon, I paid, and by the way, gladly paid, the original Makin' Bacon. I paid $15 for this thing. I actually am going to share my screen, which means when I edit
Travis
this
is
thing
like,
later,
would have paid 30.
listen, it's so worth it. Here, I'm going to show it on, if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can see it. Oh, I might have to edit this out because it's going to say like where I live and stuff. So I probably can't show this on, but I'm just showing it to Jen. I'm going to show it to Jen, but you can see this. I'll put a picture
It's
on the
hanging
screen.
bacon.
That's what it is. So I'll put a picture up on the podcast
That is
of it.
so funny.
Anyway, this thing is $15, probably cost them 50 cents to make. This person's making money hand over fist. If there's a little thing like this you could do for like lawn care and then sell it, bro, money.
I think a guide that was seasonally placed would be really helpful too. Like, I'm in the position now where for the first time I have to take care of my own lawn, and guess what? Is dead. Is dead. And I'm like, I don't even know how you plant grass.
Do you plant grass? I'm not even sure.
I don't know.
I'm not even sure.
Wait, link me the lawn guys channel.
Oh yeah, yeah, you might have a new subscriber. We're gonna look into that. Oy vey. Yeah, we'll look at that a little later. Okay.
So a guide would be great. Channel memberships, live stream, super chats. I know technically that comes through like, Google's still taking a cut of that, but still there is so much to unlock with a community that stands behind you.
100%. It's a lot easier than you might think. All right, we still got a lot more emails. When I look at the list of how many, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. This one is from Nick. Hey, I'm Nick, or just_Nico on YouTube. I love your content. I've been listening for years and learned a ton from you guys and your coaching. Shout out to Coach Anthony. We love Anthony.
Oh,
You need to tell Anthony that he got a shout out on the podcast.
I definitely will.
Anyways, I've recently started a shorts channel as of a few months ago and just crossed the 20,000 subs mark. Hey, congrats there, Nick. Really great job. And I'm wondering how creators get into a good workflow with them, as shorts require a lot of videos to stay relevant. I'm having a tough time keeping up with ideas my audience would like in even trends. Also, swipe rate is huge. Do you have any tips on consistent high VVSA? Not sure what that is. And storytelling is huge on YouTube, and I feel like I've just scratched the surface. Do you have any tips for storytelling? Thanks from Nick. So we actually talked a little bit about shorts in a video. I don't even know if it's been released yet. I think it has been. The shorts, why your shorts aren't getting views. I think it's on the main stream, our main vidIQ channel. I think this always comes down to the same thing. Obsess about who your viewer is. Jen and I recently started really obsessing about you guys. You viewers, the people that are watching this channel right now, including the audio podcast, but more so the YouTube, because we get more analytics from YouTube. And we learned some things that we kind of assumed about like the age groups that watch us and kind of like how long you watch and stuff and where you're watching from. And obsessing about those things can help you figure out what type of content you need to make, because you need to understand what they'd be interested in. And while I know Jen hates shorts, conceptually, it's all the same thing. It's all the same.
Well, when they make sense, they make sense. If it's a shorts channel, it makes sense. Also, Anthony is the king of shorts. So let me tell you, you are in good hands.
I kid you not. If I ever go on Instagram, I see some ad with him in it all the time. It just kind of pops up all the time. I'm like, this dude is everywhere. Matter of fact, I had never seen him before he started working at vidIQ. And then all of a sudden he's on Instagram and Facebook. I'm like, where did this dude come from? And why is he all over all my stuff? He's a great guy, though. I like him a lot. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's about understanding what your viewership wants, and trends and stuff are definitely important. And storytelling on a short is really about getting to the point. Like, just don't bore us. Get to the chorus. Just get to the thing.
Start high.
And the shorts, in some ways, can be a little bit more like disposable. And when I say what I mean by that is, typically you're not spending as much time editing a short as you would be a long form piece of content. So if one misses, it's okay. Not the end of the world. The very next one could get 80, 90, 100,000, 2 million views, right? At any time.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just throw them out like candy. Just throw them into the air. Let everyone have shorts fall over their face. Okay. Our Offbeat Life emails us and says, "Hi, Travis and Jen. We hope this email finds you well." Well, listen.
Oh, it does.
It does. We've been loving the new season and implementing your advice. Our channel has been around for about a year with some starts and stops, but we've recently focused more on our podcast and subscribing to the full vidIQ plugin. This is great because if you're talking about having boosts and stuff, then you have access to all that stuff I've been talking about. It's great to see the consistency between the plugin and your show. Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
While we haven't seen significant growth yet, it's only been a month, and we're hopeful. Okay, let's start. Before I read any more of this email, I think it's really what he said there is really important. Actually, I don't know if it's Jen or Brody, or I don't know who said, but anyway, what they said there was very important. If they just started about a month or so, expectations of what growth looks like are way different for every single person, ourselves included. Did you see that channel I sent to you over Slack like yesterday that has like 4 videos and they're all like 70, 80,000 views? Mm-hmm. Did you see that? It's like, we couldn't even do that. Like, we would love to be able to do that. And it's on a YouTube like growth channel. Just blew up. The vast majority of people's experiences, including highly successful YouTubers, was a slow grind at the beginning. Totally normal.
Very, very normal. Way maintainable.
Sustainable.
Okay,
Sustainable.
there we go. Yeah. Sustainable. And your growth is going to most likely stick better. Coming in hot and fast doesn't always work the best for creators.
Yeah. Okay, one piece of feedback. Sometimes it feels like the results you mention on the podcast are more advanced than what many of us are experiencing. For example, when you talk about getting hundreds of views, it can be discouraging for us that are still in double digits. It would be helpful to address the challenges of smaller channels more often. Well, we are a smart channel.
Oh,
we are literally that thing. We are the thing in which we preach. And I think we talked about that kind of in depth 2 episodes ago when we were talking about getting 2 impressions. Not views, by the way. Impressions.
No, there was no views.
No, there was no views. It was impressions. And our 1 of 4 uploads had 0 views. That was our 1 of 4. Had 0 views. Yeah, we've talked about this. I don't know if you heard that episode. We kind of went in depth in that. We're talking about kind of how we're quote building this channel the way we're building it. So what we have kind of learned in restarting a new channel. So we started this channel in 2024. Like literally, we just started it. There's some things that I'm seeing that are slightly different than when I first started or when anyone else first started. The way YouTube treats new channels. It obviously helps that we have some produced content, but the vast majority of what you're going to see grow this channel will be this podcast, what you're watching now. We believe in the format. We've done the research. Plus, we think we're pretty cool. I would say. At least Jen is. Jen's pretty cool. So to your point, I mean, I think we try to keep it. Where we talk to a smaller creators. One of the other things we learned about our viewership, there's a lot of beginning creators listening to the podcast. And we did definitely talk about that like 3 episodes ago. Because remember when we did the 10 of 10?
I was just
and we
thinking
realized
that.
Some people didn't know what 10 of 10 meant. And I was like,
that was.
Yikes, whoops. Sorry about that. So yeah, trust me when I tell you we are absolutely on board with we're one of you. We literally don't even have 400 subscribers yet. So trust me when I tell you we get it. All right, this is a great subject line. The subject line is "My voice is weird?" ?
Oh, I like that. Wait, I feel this already.
Really?
I think I have a weird voice. But yet here I am on a podcast.
What are you talking about?
Well, I definitely have a more annoying voice than like soothing podcast voice.
I don't think you know what you're talking about. Okay, let me get to this email. Hey.
Tonight.
I don't know what she's talking. She's wacky right now, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Hey there, Jen and Travis. I'm emailing you from my official channel email. Might be the first ever cold call to.
Oh my gosh, we're honored.
We're very honored. My actual name is Harry. I'm from a little island called Malta. Do you know Malta? Have you been to Malta?
Do. Okay. I mean, I haven't been there, but
you're aware of it.
I've heard of the island, yes.
And I run a storytelling drama channel called Quiz Toxic Quotes. I don't know. QUIXOTIC. Quixotic quotes. I started this channel back in February and have had some good growth, amassing 5,000 subs. 3.7 thousand watch hours, and over 1.2 million short views. Still crazy to me now.
Oh.
One thing that is confusing me, though, is as per the subject's email, my voice must be weird. I've seen a good amount of success with an AI tool for voiceovers, but ever since I've invested in a proper mic, a Rode, okay, my retention and views have plummeted. Any advice? Love your podcast. Listen to it at work along with Colin Samir and your personal fave, Think Media. Kindly, thanks for the advice. Okay. This is interesting.
This is interesting.
They're saying that their views and subs have, or their views and retention have plummeted when they started using a good mic, and they were using AI tools before this. So I think maybe they were using voiceovers.
I think they were
before
using an
this.
AI voice. That's what it sounds like to
Interesting.
me.
Which, by the way, for me personally, it's a turnoff. I might be in the minority here. I like to hear the authentic voice of the creator. So I'm down with like you being you, if that's what's going on. I don't know if that's it. Because the thing is, there are people with really unique and interesting voices that have huge channels because of their unique and interesting voices, even if they're quote annoying. What do you think?
What comes to my mind first is just the obvious is maybe the AI voice was easier to understand. I don't know if it's a weird voice. I'm trying to think like if you had a heavy accent or something. Trying to think outside the box here because I don't know the difference right now.
So what I just really quickly listened to, because I want to understand what they were
Okay.
talking about, and it just sounds like you might have like an Italian accent or something, which I think a lot of people would think is really cool. And if that's what it is, I don't think that's the problem. I think it could be also that people were used to hearing this one voice, whether they knew it was AI or not, and then all of a sudden this new voice comes on. This is a reason why you never want to buy a YouTube channel. I'm not saying you obviously didn't do that. I'm not talking about you buying one, but this is a reason because like people get used to one thing and then all of a sudden it switches and then they're like, this isn't what I signed up for. So it's interesting. I would continue to push forward with your own voice. I wouldn't let it rock you. It's a thing that just is happening in the moment. May only last a little while. Push through it.
It's a change.
Yeah.
You change your thumbnails, you're going to see some wonky stuff happen. You change your content, you come up with a new idea, you're going to see some wonky things happen.
Absolutely. I don't think it's important to focus on that. And if someone if you're getting a lot of people saying, "Oh, your voice is weird," I mean, that's one thing you can at least hang your hat on. But I don't even see you saying that. You're just saying that after you bought this mic, that the retention and views plummeted. But that causation is not. I mean, just because that happened at the same time as buying the mic doesn't necessarily mean that's related. Could be something else. So that was Harry. All right, we still got quite a number. We still got like 4 more. All right, here we go. This is for Donald. I just want to thank you for looking at my channel. I need to change the way I do B-roll in my videos. Thought I was doing it the way other comic book YouTubers were doing it. Oh, so this is Donald from the thumbnail video that just got posted on our Boost channel. I wasn't sure like who this is, but I think this is who that is. Yeah. I thought I was doing it like other big comic book YouTubers were doing it, like Comics Explained, blah, blah, blah. They do B-roll in a way that maybe half of the book is in their videos and that's it. Oh, no, I actually know who this is. Okay. So there was a, okay. So Rob and I on the vidIQ channel do channel audits on Tuesdays. And one of the things we came across was this channel. It must be Donald's. SEM Comics. Yes, I remember this. SEM Comics. And he does voiceovers over top of comic books, which is fine, and doing commentary, fine. However, we're worried that he's showing the entire comic, which could be a copyright issue.
Oh.
So instead of just showing certain panels, and we're not a positive, but we speculated that he's showing like every single page during the course of his video, which is a copyright issue. So that's what I think he's talking about. So let me reread this, knowing that information. We audited his channel on the live stream on the main vidIQ channel. We thought maybe that, and we weren't sure. We said, if that's what you're doing, you probably shouldn't do it just to be safe. Okay, so let's try that again. I need to change the way I do B-roll on my videos. I thought I was doing it the way other big comic book YouTubers were doing it. Okay, and you probably are, but the risk is there regardless of how they do it. They do the B-roll in a way that maybe half of the book is in their videos, but that's it. And they might make a section of a page, but not the whole page. See, that's important. I have my girlfriend who's a graphic designer do my thumbnails, and the text is what I told her to do. Again, I looked at the bigger channels that don't do that. They used to, but not anymore. That's an important thing. They probably stopped doing it for a reason.
Wow.
I look at these channels all the time, so I should have been following their best practices when I started my channel, but I will from here on out. And I want to say sorry to you and Rob for the a-hole on my video. I remember this too. So in the live stream, Rob was like, let's real quick watch one of these videos. And literally in the middle, he goes, and this here, I'm sorry for saying it, but he literally said that in the video. I normally bleep out the bad words, but that one slipped through the cracks against on the live stream that came out. Oh my God.
That's
1 month
so
of it, I give you
funny.
some, but yeah. So this is also Donald is also the guy who figured out that we were Think Media
That
podcast.
Think Media,
So,
yeah. Yep.
so we're definitely going to hook you up with the 1 month of Boost, and you'll be able to use those tools we talked about.
That's really great.
I listen to a lot of YouTube help channels, and I know vidIQ and Think Media have a good relationship with each other. Listen to a lot of YouTube advice and knowing how to implement different things. So the vidIQ Boost should be a big help. Thank you again, Travis. All right, so Donald, we'll get you hooked up. We'll get you set up, and I'll make sure customer service handles that for you. Yeah, that's ironic. That's why it came up on the stream, because he won the contest. I brought him up on stream because we said we would do that. So now it's all coming back to me. I just need you to understand something.
Coming back to me.
Jen, do you even remember what you did last week? I don't remember nothing.
No,
So-
Travis, we can remember what video we filmed yesterday.
We literally, before we went live, literally, I was like, what video did we shoot yesterday? And Jen was like,
Oh.
and I asked because I didn't know. I'm like, what did we shoot about? I don't even remember. So yeah, it's a big blur. So I'll get that handled for you. Please make sure I don't forget that, Jen. I'm going to try to actually let me remark that as
I got you.
unread. But we want to make sure we get that because we said we would do it. Okay. So we'll label it as unread, right? How do we do that? Okay, I don't have time. We'll do that in a minute. You remember Organically Blunt?
Yes.
He emailed back.
Yes.
Thanks for replying to me on the podcast. So technically I'm on the right track with the things on your YouTube channel. I'm working some old thumbnails and titles and descriptions to the vidIQ app and get Boost. My channel is about cannabis and lifestyle. Yeah, so Organically Blunt was the one we talked about. Appreciate your advice. I'll join Discord soon. That's from Jay Blaze. So we talked about him last week. Make sure you go check that out. Check out that episode. Okay. The vidIQ Santa Claus has joined the Boost family. Now, for those who don't
be more honored.
I'm telling you. So let me explain for people who don't know what's going on here. If you watch our live streams, specifically on Tuesdays, you will see a gentleman named Old Man Gibb. And he's in the chats all the time. Wonderful guy. Super nice. Who gives memberships like every week. Tons. 20, 50 at a time. Ridiculous amounts of money. We don't ask. We tell him to stop. Like, no, it's too much. But he loves helping the community. And I think he heard when I was on the last live stream, I said, hey, you guys should come over and watch the Boost. I think you guys would like it. So he came over and he sent us an email. So I'm kind of excited.
He sent us an email?
He sent us an email. So let's see what Old Man Gibb says. Greetings, Travis and Jen. First, thank you so very much for this platform and absolutely everything you do for the creator community. Listen, we need to thank you because you're out here funding vidIQ, basically. I don't know what's going on over there.
Thanks for letting me keep my job, Santa.
Right? Thank you, vidIQ Santa. Okay. What advice can you possibly give creators like myself that suffer from severe PTSD to the point that we're almost total shut-ins? Interesting. It's hard for me to really connect with an audience that for the most part, I feel like if I meet them out in the real world, I would be hard-pressed to not just walk away from them in total disgust or just put their head into a wall. I know that seems harsh. However, after going to several Comic-Cons in order to, one, expose myself to a different and difficult environment, and two, to watch and absorb how creators behave in the real world, 90% of them have proven to be scumbags. I do not want to be that guy. So in short, how do I make quality content for an audience I can't stand? That's crazy. I want to answer this. Hold on. He says one more thing. P.S. Jen, you have an amazing smile. Travis, your just plain speaking is very helpful. Thanks a million. Okay.
Well,
you have the good smile. I don't. Okay. I love how real this email is.
Mm-hmm.
It's shocking to me. This is not the email I thought I would get, but I love it. Listen, I'm gonna swim in this. I'm swimming in it.
Swim.
Jen, let's
Dive
get real.
in.
Let's get
Okay,
real for a second.
let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. I hope you won't get mad at me.
I probably will. What is
You're
it?
a female. I think
Yes.
you're a female on YouTube.
I do identify as female.
You do identify as female and you're on YouTube. And there are guys that watch YouTube and say some things to females on YouTube that you might not be super excited to talk to. I would imagine. Is this true or is this a false statement?
I get lots of inappropriate requests.
Okay. So this is similar-ish to what Old Man Gibb is saying. I would love to hear how you deal with that aspect of it, and then I'll give my 2 cents on his side. But I think it's similar enough that we should talk about it because there are a lot of female listeners to this podcast, and I think it's important for them to hear as well.
It's interesting. So I feel like I don't intentionally target those people. And if I feel like I was, then I could do a better job at it.
Fair.
But it can be really discouraging and really frustrating when you feel like you're putting out something really fun with the intention of, like I have had things when I'm on the beach or wearing less clothing, things that are very normal to see in real life that, putting it out there, you subject yourself to comments from people that are out there. It's part of the game. You put yourself on the internet. You got to deal with it. But that's hard advice because I'm not making the content for those people.
That's interesting.
But this intention, he is making the content for those people. I don't know if that's a winning strategy.
I'm glad you said it. This is threading a needle here. You have to do like one of two things, man, Gib. And this is where we're going to get real. Personally, I would say that you're talking. It looks like you're talking about comic stuff. I was not aware that that's what your channel was about. I really wasn't. That's great. It sounds like something that you love. If you start doing content about something that you love, you will stop loving that thing. I will tell you this because this happened to me. Happened to me on more than one occasion. I had a little secret YouTube channel I put together last year. I started doing reaction content to a television show I used to really love. I did like a couple videos and it started to grow pretty fast. I was getting views and stuff pretty fast considering I just started from zero. I didn't shout it out from my main channel or anything. I just put it out there, started working. And I started to dislike making the content because it was no longer fun to watch the show. And I've stopped watching the show. Not because the show is bad, but because doing the YouTube channel about it made it something that I didn't like doing anymore. I'm a tech head. That's how I got into YouTube. I made a tech YouTube channel. I don't even know what the hell's going on in tech anymore because it became this thing that I disliked. I feel now very strongly that if you have these passions that are hobbies and stuff that you love, you should keep that for yourself. If you want to make content about them, that's fine. If you want to, turn off comments. If you just want to just enjoy the content itself, fine. But that's not the YouTube content you should do. Personally, I'm saying this. I think if you want to be in YouTube and do stuff, you should do something that you're a little bit more detached from. Not like completely detached. I think there's a lot of people who do their passion, they love it, and that's fine. I'm speaking specifically to you because of what you've told us. This isn't something I would say to everybody. It's just your specific detail that you've given us tells me that you would let these people rob you of a joy that maybe you already have, and you don't want that. It's the last thing you want. So if you still do want to do YouTube content, that's fine. I would do it with something that you don't feel as connected with, that you feel like someone could rob you of it, because it feels like you're almost saying that in this message.
I think there's also, I feel like there was a big tie on like meeting those people.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that has to happen. That's kind of like, you don't have to meet those people. You don't have to put yourself out there. I would say for the most part, YouTubers are super introverted and don't put themselves in that situation because it's really, really uncomfortable. I think most people get to the point where they feel really comfortable talking to the camera, but they're still alone. Nobody's like actually judging them. They don't have to carry on a conversation in real time. They don't have to worry like, oh, you're not the same that you are online. So I think it's really normal for people to be different in person than the way they're perceived online. And I don't think that you have to meet your audience if that's a similar situation.
Yeah, you can also keep that distance, even if.
Yeah.
So to Jen's point, if you want to keep doing that content because you still like making the content, you just don't like the people, you can just disengage from the community. Just don't read the comments, don't go to the things. To Jen's point, you don't have to meet people. I think what he was saying is, he was trying to expose himself to different. He was like pushing his boundaries, just trying to grow as a person, which I completely appreciate. I love, and I think anyone who does that is a brave person. I love that. But sometimes you put your hand on the stove and find out it's hot, and you're like, I don't want to do that again. So if that's the case, I think what you should do is protect your joy and don't allow any situation to pull that away. So I hope that helps. And you got us here. Listen, we love you, old man Gib. You're always welcome to send us a message. And what an interesting email. I did not see that coming, and I love it. I'm going to share this with Rob Wilson too. I think he'll be really interested in seeing that message. What a cool message. Thank you so much for showing us a little vulnerability there. Okay. Last email, last message for this week. I know we're going to get even more next week. We're going to get more next week, Jen.
Eventually we're just really not going to be able to answer them all, which is really sad.
So what I think Jen and I were talking about this as like, again, a strategy for the channel moving forward is we might end up at some point in the future being able to do 2 podcasts a week. One, which would be just answering questions, because we are already at the point where this literally takes an entire show. And then another one where we just talk about YouTube stuff. We are sprinkling in, and this is very purposeful, by the way. We are sprinkling that in between these messages. But we both love this podcast so much that I'm more than willing to do 2 a week if it comes down to it. So let's see where things go in the future. Here we go. Last one. This one's from Neil. Hi, Travis and Jen. Just wanted to say that I love that you have a vodcast now, as my attention span never allows me to listen to verbal podcasts. Well, perfect.
Yes, we're here.
We learned last week that we have a vodcast.
Animated. We need to be better to watch. I just like sit here and twirl in my chair.
But we learned last week that we have a vodcast. We had no idea until last week. All right, here we go. Just to give a little bit of background about myself, I have a full-time job. I'm a volunteer at a local football club. That's the proper round-shaped ball football. In other words, European football, not football, American soccer, as we call it. Doing the social media work, and I'm also a career from my mom. Oh, yeah, and I also try to fit in my YouTube channel. My channel is woodworking, very cool, and occasional photography, which are my 2 hobbies.
Ooh. When
I do get to go out and do some photography, it's great as I have a lot of room to film. However, when I'm in my workshop, which is actually a single-car garage, in the UK, a standard garage is 2.4 by 4.2 meters, a lot smaller than the US ones. I have less room for camera angles. My question would be, if I film and afterwards I realize my arm is blocking the camera, should I just screen, title, or voiceover to get around it, or scrap the footage? P.S. Rob and Dan reviewed my channel on 28th when I had 20 subs, and now I have 55. Amazing.
Amazing.
So this is basically about like reshoots and stuff. How do you handle that sort of thing, Jen?
I think this depends on the content. So doing photography, I'm like, okay, well, if you're into that scene, are we making more cinematic woodworking videos? If we're making cinematic content, then that type of playfulness of, oops, missed the shot type of thing breaks up the content, in which case I would say, cut it. It's not your vibe. If you're just kind of more I would just say not cinematic, just vlogging, recording what you're building, then I always think there's room for really fun moments like that. Whether it's a voiceover or, sarcastic humor, like enjoy this very clear shot of what I'm working on. Things like that. I like that as a viewer. I think that's funny to leave in because it's not intentional, but you make it work and it plays in. But it has to be able to play in.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at, just real quick, just to get an idea of like, I actually think I remember this channel coming up on live stream. I was going to say, just film it with as many cameras simultaneously as you can, which would be phones and stuff. You don't necessarily have to have all, cameras. If you have a phone, even if you have like a cheap phone, whatever, to get as many angles as possible. So if that ends up happening for a long period of time, you don't have to just completely scrap everything. Editing saves everything though, right? I mean, that's why you edit. You can save a lot of things that way. But it looks like you already do a significant number of angles. You have like top downs and all the other stuff. So I feel like the content will dictate that to you. There might be times where you're like, I literally, and we talked about this like a week or so ago. I literally just shot something which was the crux of the whole video, and now it does it. I can't. My elbow was in the way the entire time. And then what do you do? There's nothing you can do about that. So I feel like try to, as much as possible, not future proof, foolproof yourself against that. One thing you could do, and I don't know, everyone has a different amount of money and stuff, so I don't want to throw this out as like it's something easy for everybody, but there are inexpensive smartphones you can get that are cheaper than cameras, that the video quality is actually better than a cheap, even like action camera. You can get like $100 and $200 smartphones, and sometimes under $100 smartphones where the camera quality is actually not bad. And then you just put those suckers everywhere at every single possible angle, and then that way you have a lot of footage you can edit into it. So that's a thought. That's a possibility if you have the budget for it. By the way, if you I don't know what it is in the UK, but certainly in the US, if you have started a small company, an LLC or something for your YouTube channel, it's a tax write-off. So there's that. I'm not giving tax advice. I'm just saying it's a thing. Look up your local information if that's possible for you. So there's unique ways to get products or what am I trying to say? Equipment to help you fix these things or make these things better. For me, it's always just trying to cover every base you can. To try to think as far ahead and okay, all the mistakes I've ever made before. Let me make sure I can never make those mistakes again. And trying to cover those bases. That was Neil. Okay, we did it. We got through all the email. I don't know how we did that.
Oh my gosh.
That was a long, but I loved it.
Wow, I loved it too.
And by the way, Rob Wilson, and let's talk a little bit about Rob Wilson, who was here last week. Again, if you haven't heard that episode, you need to go back and watch it or listen to it. It's so good. Afterwards, kept talking about the podcast. He was like, well, so when does it go up and how often do you guys shoot? Now, I've known Rob since 2019, since being in this company. I've spent time with him at conventions and everything else. This is not the normal Rob Wilson. He doesn't ask these questions. He's usually unbothered by things. He does the content, moves on. He really enjoyed it. Told me personally that he really enjoyed it and wants to come back on more often. Now, I want to be clear. This is after he shoots all the footage and stuff for vidIQ, where he normally just wants to go home and do he shoots from home, but he just wants to do other things. He wants to come back to the boost. So if y'all enjoyed the episode with Rob, he would love to come back. So let us know. Comments on the YouTube channel, emails, theboost@vidIQ.com. Tell us everything, because he's willing to come back.
There's something fun about just talking about YouTube. I mean, we do the content too, and we both love the podcast. There's not that many spaces you can just talk about YouTube. Except
here, at the Boost.
At the Boost by vidIQ.
Well, that's the other thing. Technically, it's Tube Talk, but let's talk about that real quick before we leave.
Oh,
we got to let the cat out of the bag.
No.
We got to let the cat out of the bag, because in a couple of weeks,
put the cat away.
The cat's got to come out. We've been back and forth on this. We even talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where the naming convention of all this stuff, and we were keeping Tube Talk as Tube Talk, and I said, well, it's changing again. Some things have changed, and we have to change the name pretty much. We don't have to, but we're going to change the name of the audio portion of the podcast to the Boost, or the podcast itself to the Boost. It's currently called Tube Talk because of many reasons that we talked about before. It's going to be the Boost. Everything's going to be the Boost. So just be prepared for that. That'll happen in a couple of weeks. We'll have Rob Wilson on that week just to have fun with him and celebrate changing the name to the Boost. And we hope that y'all will be cool with that. So, and if you're not cool with it, I'm sorry. It's happening anyway.
If you feel confused, we're sorry.
For a little while, you're going to be a little confused. Some of you are so new that it's like, okay, I don't care. What do I care? You guys still there? Yeah,
whatever.
We're still here. It's all good. All right, Jen. I normally would say let's do our normal thing of what did you watch on YouTube, but we need to get out of here. So we'll save that for next time. I appreciate all the emails and messages and all the comments on the YouTube videos and everything. Just phenomenal.
We love you all. It feels just as fun for us to have new friends to talk about YouTube with.
100%.
It's really exciting. It's not like we're pushing advice or growth strategies down your throat. Like, we're just chilling, talking about YouTube.
And we love it.
Oh, so much.
All right, y'all. So we'll do this again next week. I guess at this point, the only thing that's left to do is to say bye, Jen. Say bye, Jen.
Bye, Jen.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tube Talk, brought to you by vidIQ. Head over to vidIQ.com/Tube Talk for today's show notes and previous episodes. Enjoy the rest of your video making day.